Okay, so on to the next step of the garage build. I'm going to show you what I got going on for today. Well, the next couple steps, it might take me more than today. Anything can crop up. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be running 2 rows of lateral bracing in evenly spaced. One right down by this webbing here, and then one right down through here. This is going to serve a couple purposes. One, it's going to keep all of my trusses 2 foot on center, nice and even. Right here, set of my bracings right here, my lateral bracings. I got them all laid out 2 foot on center. And the one time I mentioned earlier about using a framing square to mark both sides of something, and this is what I was meaning right here. The short end of a framing square is 1.5 inches wide. If you put it on one of the marks, you mark both sides, it gives a real clear definition of where your stud or whatever you want to nail there, where it should be, left and right. So I got my bracings. They're ready at 23 foot 11, which is 1 inch short of my total building. That gives me a 1/2 inch on each side for my sheathing to go on. Okay, so that's one of the things it's going to do is line all these trusses up. It's also going to tie these 2 end walls together. This wall over here and this wall right here, they're all tied together with the trusses themselves. But to keep those end walls from bowing out, this lateral bracing will help with that also. Just going to give you a quick look up here, show you how we did these end trusses. This board, this 2x4 was nailed the whole way along here. This is just some old scrap stuff we had laying around. It was nailed at 1.5 inches in from the very outside of the building. That let this truss be nailed really well into here. Now my sheathing can come right up over top of here and cover up this gable end right here. And it also is going to serve as an interior nailer along these exterior, or like a nailer for my ceiling as well. So it serves 2 purposes. So once you get them all, if you take a little bit of time framing and get everything where it should be, when you do other things like put ceilings on and sheathing on and stuff, everything just works a lot smoother. The sheets work out the way they're supposed to and everything. So I also have, and my wife actually noticed this, I have notches cut along here on the gable end trusses, and I'll show it when we get to doing the fascia boards, which won't come until after we get the sheathing on. I'll show you why I cut these notches in here. Okay, so I'm going to get up here and start putting these lateral bracings down. Okay, so when I put the end fascia boards on right here, if you see that little piece of green, that piece of zip sheeting, there's a little triangle underneath there. And that's, you want to keep the fascia board on the same plane as the roof. What you don't want to do is line those corners up at the top. That's gonna, now look at that. That would make a really bad deal at the end of your plywood right here. So this should be slid down. And my brother has even started, he rips a bevel on the tops of his fascia boards now. He gets 2x8s and rips bevels on them, especially on steeper roofs. Like if I had a 12-12 pitch, like when you do a 12-12, this thing might be clear down to here before that thing hits right here. And there's a big giant void under there. So you can rip a bevel on them sometimes. But for this 412 pitch, that'll be satisfactory to me. Okay, it's starting to rain right now. So I'm just gonna show you. I got the front face board on right here. And I got one of the gable end face boards up. And I'm just gonna show you how all this all ties together. But right here, you can see this rides down and hits that. But now when you deal with trusses, sometimes you gotta take a happy medium and just go with the flow on them. So you might get one that's a little bit high, one that's a little bit low. Like this one, this truss is a little bit low. But then this truss is right on. And then my outside face board, I got it right on, right here, right on the same plane. Now this blocking system, I'll show you how that works, and then I'm gonna have to turn off my camera and get covered up here because the rain's coming down. So this 2x4 comes clear from the outside face board on the overhang, runs through, it's notched through this truss, then it comes through and it ties into this truss right here. Then once the sheathing goes on top, I mean, this will all be just tied together, and this is nailed in here really well into these blockings. That'll keep this from sagging down and it's a very sturdy system. Then this extra little blocking under here, this gives it support to keep the 2x6 from twisting in and out. Because lumber twists and lumber moves and expands and contracts, so this helps sturdy that up a lot. So I got those about every 4 feet coming up here. I got the back face board to put on and a couple more gables, and then I can start getting some sheathing on the roof and get my shingles on. I got all my face boards are all the way around up to the peaks, down to the bottom here. Everything's all planed out nice all along the front here. So I'm ready to start putting the sheathing on here. Okay, now to keep this outside face board nice and straight going up along here, this is something that's really critical to get nice and straight, because these are things that can be seen easily from the ground. When you're standing on the ground, you can sight up along stuff. So what we do here is we take and we set a string on the bottom end right at 1/2 inch to the inside of the string, and we set it at the same up the peak at 1/2 inch. And then as we come up along here and we start setting our plywood, I have a line chalk for the top piece of my plywood already. It's at 48 1/4. That's going to keep it up away from all the drip edge and the fascia and stuff that needs to come up later. Before I nail either one of these three that are all tied together here, I'll get some of the other sheet, the bottom of the sheet, and up the inside rafters nailed first. Then I'll come before I nail these, and I'll make sure that this reads 1/2 inch to the inside. Right here, it looks like right now I got to push that out just a slight bit. I know up here farther, I got to come out about a 1/16, maybe a strong 1/16 to get to the string out there, but that'll come out on the second sheet on the way up. When I push this one out, it may take care of that, but we'll check that string each time we put a row of sheathing on here. And then I'll basically transfer the strings to the back side and repeat the whole entire process. All right, so more than likely, that'll be about the end of this video. I'll probably do another one where I'm actually putting the sheathing down and just zip taping it off and stuff and getting it ready for the shingles. And maybe I might include putting a drip edge on that one. Who knows? All depends on what material I get my hands on. My shingles won't be here for about another week or so, I think. So I'm not in a big giant rush. So thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone has a safe day and has a blessed day.